Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Brick Stop and Brick Monarchs channel here. We're going to be doing a Let's Talk About Lego tonight, and it's going to be talking about the Royal Knights. So we're looping it all the way back to Castle, because, you know, we like Castle. Hey, Jabber. Good to see you on here. So let me have Brick Monarch join, and we're going to have some fun conversation here. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you guys. We're looking forward to this one. This one's an exciting one for sure.
What's up, man?
Hey there. How you doing?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Hanging in there. We're making it happen.
As usual.
It's what we do. All right. Thanks for joining, everybody. We got quite a few people already jumping on here. A couple people who were excited about it in the comments earlier are now in here. We got Small Mox, who's got some hilarious content about trashing Lego for not making Lego Castle stuff. Bricks Make Me Happy. She was excited to be on here. Good to see you guys tonight.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. All right. So Royal Knights is the topic of discussion tonight.
And what an amazing faction it was.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like zoned out, waving to everybody jumping on here still. Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I love it. This was the current faction when I was full in Lego, like 12 years old, 10 years old time frame where I was committed to like ruining my life and my bank account to this new toy I found. So this was in the stores when I was that age. So I go to Fred Meyer, Royal Knights Castle on the shelf. Toys R Us, Dark Forest Fortress right there. Like, this was my childhood, is the Royal Knights.
Yes. The Royal Knights was absolutely fantastic when it came out. Absolutely fantastic. And it couldn't have come out at a better time.
Yeah.
1995. Right off rip, 1995, the Royal Knights are fighting the Dragon Masters.
Yep. So, yeah, coming right off the heels of the Dragon Masters. I can't remember if there was a lull a little bit before the Royal Knights came up, or if it was just directly bouncing off of the Dragon Masters.
It was the very next year.
Was it? Okay, so it was right on the heels.
Yeah.
And you see, at least in one set, that the Dragon Masters are their enemies. They're fighting them at some point.
Yes, in the small catalog, the 95 small catalog, the king is fighting Magisto.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah, no, there's a lot of literature that shows them fighting.
Yes.
There's less in the actual sets. Because back then they didn't do as much like, oh, we're going to put 5 of this faction and 3 of this faction and have every set come with different sides. It was more selective to like, oh, you get Royal Knights Castle, you just get Royal Knights. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. When the Royal Knights first came out, obviously, I've told you before that the Dragon Masters was probably one of my favorite factions out of all of them.
Yeah.
And then the Royal Knights come out, and it was all new prints, new shields, the sword, the crown. All these things came out with the Royal Knights, and they were absolutely fantastic.
Yep. The cloth capes. Well, the cloth capes came out with Dragon Masters, but the printed one with the Royal Knights printed lion cape, a new printed barding.
Yeah.
So one of the best, and we can get into this a little later, but I think it's one of the best, if not the best. At least it's one of my favorites, molded base plates of all time.
Yeah, that was another thing. The offset large base plate.
Fantastic. It's so cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
It sucks because I only have one of them. Or wait, no, I have 2 of those. I have 2 of that one.
So do I. I have a funny story about that. I mean, if we want to get into it. That's the one I found. I found the Royal Knights Castle base plate at a thrift shop for $1 with no cracks.
I remember you telling me that.
Because it's a story I tell. This stuff never happens.
No.
But it happened with this.
That was a gift from God right there.
It was straight up just dropped right out of heaven, man.
Yeah,
like,
meant for you on that day.
It really, because it was sitting, it wasn't even like in a box or in like a special, it was sitting on top of like the toy rack, just like thrown in with everything else. And I pulled it out and it was like nothing. It was dusty and that was it. And then I flipped it over because I'm like, oh crap, how much is this? And it's like 99 cents. So I was like, no way. And this was like, I'm not talking about like, 2000 or 1999. This was like 2 years ago. So like this happened recently.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm pretty sure I paid like at least $35 for both of mine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like that, the Dark Fortress base plate's like $40 or something online. Yeah. So
$40 for it. Yeah.
They're tricky ones to get a hold of. Hey, someone popped in. It was a long username, but they said they got to go and that we're legends. So we definitely appreciate you and thank you for saying that.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, and thanks for popping in for just a second there. Yeah, so actually here, I got the base plate because I wanted to show it off a little bit. It's this one. This is the one we're talking about. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'll try and show you it as well as I can. It's got great colors. I mean, the dark gray and black against the green. Similar to the Dragon Masters, I believe. Isn't that what their colors were?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic.
And then this is what got me as a kid, right here. The staircase.
Yeah.
So, dude, it's so good. And it's built so that you can put a little like a little hatchway over it, so they come up through the floor.
Yeah.
It's too much fun. I mean, you could connect another base plate to that and have those steps down into like a beer cellar or a wine cellar. I mean, you could expand it that way. So many different ideas you could go with that.
So many things.
So that's just a lot of good times right there. That base plate.
I would have to say the coloring of that one and the shape of that one is probably the best oversized raised base plate.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a couple weird ones that I've collected over the years that are a little funky and unique, and so they kind of have an appeal for me there. But like, as far as like also functional, this one's very functional. It's it's much easier to use than some of those other ones that are like, you got to kind of build around the sides and stuff and kind of make it work. This one's got the features on this that are molded into it, makes sense and work really well for me. So
yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot. It's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about base plates, just a little bit, the raised base plates, the primary raised one with the one ramp on the left side, you know, that pit is so deep and it's in so many different sets. And the only cool way to really execute that and have it like drop down a couple stairs is the way that the Kings Mountain Fortress was set up, where it had like a little like a floor that was like really high.
Yeah.
That went across in there. That was really the only way you could really execute that space.
They kind of filled it a little bit.
Yeah, but see, the Royal Knights plate, you got a full level.
The ramp is much shallower than that tall one, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole interior part, it's got a drop down here, but it's got these grooves that you can build on top of halfway up that slope here, so you don't lose all that.
The way that the set is, it's got that ramp that goes to that back drawbridge, and it drops down, and there's like little jail cells underneath of it.
Right. Yeah, they built it under the like ramp. Yeah. It's such a good design, dude. I mean, and we can get into the castle itself later. That's just the base plate, but the design of that castle is mind blowing.
Yeah,
I would second best castle ever designed, in my opinion. There
was a lot of new parts too.
Yeah. Small Mock says howdy, and Ian Scott Douglas maybe says I have two of those. Yeah, so we're all in the same, but we each have two of them.
it's a dope base plate.
It's one of those where you got to have the castle built, and then you got to have one to play around with.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, it's good stuff. What else we got here? There was one other comment I was going to try to read. They need to bring back the race base plates. Yeah, I agree, and I definitely do not think that will ever happen from Lego again.
No, probably not. So get as many of the raised base plates as you can right now, because when I'm budgeted for base plates, buy them more.
Yep.
I just bought the left, the left-handed ramp one, the black space one with the gray circle.
A moon one, yeah.
Yeah, I just bought that today.
Yeah.
On Bricklink, it was $20. I was like, I can't pass that up.
$20. I mean, that's not bad. It's such a cool plate. That's another fun one.
It is, and it's one of those plates that's like universal for space. Like you could build some super sick with Blacktron or.
Yep. Well, like what I did, I put a Mtron base on it.
Yeah, I mean it really works with any of them because it's black and gray. But anyway.
We got Remember 98. I think he's asking you if that's a mosaic map behind you, and it's not. Why don't you tell him what it is?
What?
The mosaic pirate map that's not a mosaic.
Oh yeah, no, that's one of our signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the pirate map wall sign right back there.
There you go.
It's sitting next to the minifig technical drawing, but yeah, it's sitting back here on the shelf.
Are those still in stock?
They're in pre-production right now.
The maps, okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to get a hold of.
We sold like 7 or 8 of them about a week ago.
Nice.
So
the maps?
Like I told you, I ran out of signs.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's good. That means people want this stuff. I mean, it's appealing stuff. I'm planning to get some more at some point too. So it's good stuff. And the ones you sent me were fantastic. So if you're interested,
I have new ones that I'm doing right now for the 2022 release.
Yeah, and those aren't the ones that are on your shop. These are brand new ones.
These are brand new ones that nobody's even. Yeah.
I still need to get the Black Knights flag, man. That's going up in my Lego room at some point.
I got one of those right over here with your name on it.
Yeah, I gotta send you your care package before you send me anything else.
Well, you better hurry up.
Yeah, I will. I'm on it. I'm working on it. So back to Royal Knights. Take a little detour there, but
it happens.
Yeah, there were 7 sets, including, if you want to include the value pack, which came with the Spyrus fighter set.
Dude, you got to include that. It has a catapult in it.
It's like the only catapult of that era.
I know. No, and I actually have that. That's photographed and on my Instagram.
Nice. Is it? I think I must have seen it. It's a little older post.
Yeah, it's like a way older post.
Okay. Dude, I love that set. Me and my brother got it because he got the spaceship and I got the castle set.
Yeah, I actually have that little Spyrus ship built. It's in a plastic bag somewhere in like the miscellaneous bin that never gets looked at.
I like it. It's a fun addition because it's different from the other Spyrus sets that were out because they did a lot of saucer shapes and that one kind of goes differently. It's got a fun mechanical folding wings and all that. But yeah, that I wish they had made more sets like that for Royal Knights with like artillery basically, and like it's almost like a battle pack sort of feel to it,
I mean, I know you like that super hokey pokey one from the Falcons, the Black Falcons.
Oh, the big like black catapult. I think it's just called Catapult. We talked about it a while back.
I mean, this one's called Catapult too.
Is it?
Yeah, but
that's it.
I would have to say this Royal Knights Catapult is the next level of catapult. It's like the equivalent years later to the twin arm launcher that was released with the Lion Crusaders. That catapult was great.
That was a cool catapult. It came with great parts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one's comparable to that at least. It doesn't go down a step, I don't think, other than the fact that there's no mounted knight with a horse barding attached.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, if that had come with a Royal Knights barding, that set would have been the most insane set of all time.
Yeah.
Because the barding only comes in the Royal Knights castle, right?
Yeah. There's only one of them.
Yeah.
So if you got multiples, you had to get multiple castles. Right.
Yeah. Or steal it from your friends or something. Not that I did that, but just saying.
True.
We got somebody saying 8-year-old son just built the 6090 for the first time for the first vintage set. Fun build and play. It is, yeah. Is that the? Now I'm not 100%. That's the okay. I thought it was, but I needed to.
Yeah, that's the Royal Knights Castle.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's dig in. Let's dig into these sets individually because they have so many. I mean, in comparison to the castles that came out prior to this, these were next level. All of them. All of the sets were next level. They were like leveled up. I mean, like the architecture, the building type, the color schemes, everything was just over the top. So first off, I have to note that the Royal Knights were the first ones to introduce the skeleton.
Really?
Yeah.
The pirate sets didn't have skeletons before that?
No.
Because I think pirates, and I think like every pirate set had skeletons.
No, it did not.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah, the skeleton surprise.
Skeleton. Oh, I was gonna say skeleton surprise. That's hilarious.
Yeah, you can look at all of the sets from '94.
Yeah.
None of the sets in '94 have, not even the pirate, have the skeleton. The skeleton was released with the Royal Knights.
Yeah, interesting. Well, and that I guess that makes sense because Dragon Masters would have skeletons if they had the parts available. Because that's a very having skeletons in the dragon dens.
Well, that's why I put a bunch of skeletons laying in the Dark Dragon's Den photo that I took because I felt it to be appropriate. But yeah, so the Royal Knights and then the Royal Knights Castle, obviously we get the ghost and the skeleton. And that was the transition from the ghost to the skeleton, and then it was skeletons from there forward.
Okay. Did they not do that many? I mean, because they had a lot of skeletons in Johnny Thunder and all that. I think they had ghosts in Time Twisters, but they didn't do as many ghosts going forward after that then, huh?
Mm-mm.
I know they didn't do, I mean...
they had a ghost in those time cruisers, right?
Yeah. He was like... He was like a suitcase ghost. He had a suitcase and a wand. He was like a... But what's cool... Here's the thing. I know you don't like the Time Twisters and the Time Cruisers, but I think if I tore them apart and analyzed them a little more, I think they have a lot of very cool crossover things going on, like a traveling ghost with a suitcase. They have basically Megisto's skeleton, who's like powering these Time Twisters machines, because the Time Cruisers were the good guys. The Time Twisters look like they're related to they have the faces from the Wild West bad guys and the Fright Knights. So that whole like bloodline of Fright Knights, probably Sinisters, all of those guys are in this time travel situation, and they're using like evil magic and the bones of like old wizards to move around through time. Anyway, I'm just saying, I think there's a lot of lore there that could be fun to dig around in. But yeah.
Or create.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably more create, because they didn't really... I think there was like a board game and maybe an audio drama, but they didn't really talk too much about that in the sets. So that gives me free reign to go hog wild on whatever I want to talk about. Make up my own lore. But yeah.
So starting with the skeleton surprise, obviously we got a new black wall print.
Yeah. Which then shows up in the castle too later.
Which is good.
It's a nice print. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I love it.
Very detailed.
Then, the way that the skeleton falls out.
Yep.
Great, small little set.
Good little mechanic.
Yeah.
Kind of sets the stage for what they started to do in Lego, the first, not Ninjago, but Lego Ninja with the falling ninjas, and then Johnny Thunder with all the axes and traps and things that would fall on people. This kind of sets the stage more for that than some of the other sets. It does.
And that was one of its best features, was how that would fall out. And
skeleton
surprise.
Yeah, and they did a good job concealing it up in the ceiling.
Yep.
And then it would flop down, and it's great. And let's be honest, let's just address this for a second real quick. The floppy arms on that skeleton are one of the coolest features, and anyone who likes those new skeletons, get out of here!
No, I agree with you. The original arms are better because you could literally throw it in the corner and it looked like it'd land like a rag doll.
Totally. Well, and that's why Skeleton Surprise was so good, because his arms would go wonky every time he fell out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
Forrest Smith,
So,
that's Ghost. Wolfpack. Did Wolfpack have a ghost?
yeah, the Wolfpack Tower had a ghost, and then
Okay.
there was a little like ghost surprise thing that was also Wolfpack set. It was like the third Wolfpack set, really tiny. Came with
Skeleton in Dark Forest.
a lerp.
What?
It had a lerp in it.
A lerp? What did?
Yeah. That the little Wolfpack set.
Oh, okay.
There was two that had the ghost. It was that one in the tower.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't the little ghost surprise one, like, you could, like, slide the little ball over?
Yeah, you'd slide the little tree thing over, which was still in black. But, again, we're not really talking about where the ghost was. We're talking about how it started to get phased out at 95 when the skeleton arrived.
Sure. Yeah, because, I mean, well, at least in Castle, for sure. I would have to dig around more in other things to find out how far it ended up not. Like, if it actually just didn't show up much at all again.
I mean, I haven't looked, but I can just about bet that the ghost piece, is, especially the original one, is probably pretty pricey on Bricklink.
It may be, because then they did a couple weird things with it where it came in like more of a translucent, like, neon color.
The mouth changed. The mouth shape changed.
Yeah, well then they remolded the whole thing for Monster Fighters.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the original ones, they're they're probably a little pricey on Bricklink. I think I've got like maybe 10 or 11 of them, like total ghosts.
Yeah, I actually
like the ghost shell.
I have quite a few of them for some reason. They just end up, because to be fair, though they may be a little more rare later in Lego, they came on a lot of cheap sets back in the mid like Castle era stuff.
Yeah, mid 90s, early 90s, they came in quite a few small sets.
Black Monarch's ghost, that weird little like Black Knight's watchtower had a ghost in it. Tiny little set. Dark Force. Someone asked about Dark Force. I think I brought it up earlier, but yeah, Larry Cummings, 37 Dark Force sets. Dark Force only skeletons. And same with Fright Nights, which you'd think would have ghosts in it, but they didn't.
Nope.
Skeletons all the way, man.
Yep.
One of the last series that might have had that ghost on it, or that style, and we could be off on this, but it's the Lego Studios Monsters series had some of those. I think there was one set that had it as in the dressing room of the makeup area. He had it on a little stand next to him.
Yeah, but see that was a different mold.
That one wasn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Lego Studios, because it came like I think it was very early 2000s. It was the same because it had Johnny Thunder as an actor in some of their kits. It's this weird crossover theme. And I have the Monsters Lab, and it does have an original ghost hanging in the closet. But that's, again, I mean, that's still a pretty old set. Like, that's the first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's definitely phased out and definitely out of Castle. I don't think there's any ghosts in Castle for a very long time after that. I don't even.
It was all skeletons. It was all skeletons.
Yeah, because even in like
that's why I'm saying that's why I'm saying, once the skeleton arrived, the Royal Knights had both in the castle, and then beyond that, it was skeletons.
Interesting. Yeah, I like that though, because you don't think about that, because as a Castle fan, I'm like, ghosts and skeletons showed up in all these different castles and everything. It's like, well, there's only one really that has.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying the Royal Knights is such a pivotal. It's a pivotal faction. Yeah. There was a lot of new parts. They introduced the chrome, the chrome sword, the gold helmet.
Yeah.
The skeleton. There's new wall elements, new parts.
Is that the big wide wall, corner wall piece?
The angled one,
and the battlement part?
Yeah.
Yeah, so ghosts, Robert Attenberry ghosts go for 10 to 20 a piece on Bricklink for the old ones. Yeah, that's pretty spendy for one minifig piece.
Yeah, especially if it doesn't come with the whole ghost. If you gotta get the white in the white, white torso and the white,
Yeah.
you know, bottom one piece in the, because it's one stud shorter than the minifig.
All the castle ones were. I think the for some reason I think they got. I don't know what happened with the Time Twister ones, but they have the white pants on them for some reason.
Yes, it's not supposed to have the white pants.
I know. I was like, what is this?
It's a 1x2 brick and a 1x2 plate in white.
Which I think makes it cooler.
Yeah.
And it makes the fold in the Ghost fit between two studs.
Yeah, it fits between the thing fits between the studs when you set it down. So it looks good.
It's great. Great piece. Great piece. Yeah, so that is, so Skeleton Surprise brings in skeletons, wall prints. I mean, what else do we get? We had the King. You wanted to talk about the King's Carriage?
Yes.
Dude, there is only one. That's the only theme that well, no, that's not true. Later Kingdoms, like way later, late 2000s, had a carriage.
The red and white lion.
Yeah, which I never got a hold of.
The carriage, I don't have that set either.
It's pretty cool though.
But that one's amazing. All right.
Yeah.
But the Royal Knights carriage was amazing in comparison to all the other wagons that had ever come out.
It's very unique. You know what? Royal Knights is like if the Crusaders hit the Renaissance.
Yeah.
And all their architecture changed.
Yes.
They got a little more modern looking with their carriages and some of their equipment. They're a little more flashy. Totally Renaissance. It's like going into like Renaissance.
Yeah.
But it's got the lions and all of the old school feel of like the Crusaders sort of.
Yeah. So, it's got a wonderful feel to it. But yeah, the carriage was great because, you know, it came with the 2 horses up front. You could fit the king in there comfortably, crown and all.
Yep. That's true.
You know.
That's a tricky guy to fit in anywhere with that crown.
Yeah, it is. You know, overall, I was in love with it. I love it now. I have it now.
It's, you know, the fact you get a cloth flag on that one, too.
Yeah, and it's a different cloth flag.
A little one, yeah.
A smaller one.
Yep. Does that only, again, come on the castle, too?
No, it comes on I believe it comes on the castle on the back tower. You put one on the very back tower.
Right. So it's the castle and the carriage. It doesn't come on anything else?
No.
Okay. Let's see. We got Larry Cummings 37 says, is glow in the dark wizard wand faded out around the same time too? Yes. I mean they still make the print. The part is the same, and they have it in like
the part is the same. They went just straight trans with them.
Yeah, straight up.
Just straight trans, no more glow in the dark.
Right. And they did it in like 5 different trans colors.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it's available from Lego in like a weird green trans color and a purple or pink trans right now. Like it's still currently being used.
There's a Christmas poly bag. I think this is it right here. Yeah. There's a Christmas poly bag. This Christmas poly bag comes with trans yellow.
Yep. And that's a current. Didn't that come out this year or not last year?
This is a poly bag that's out this season.
Okay. Yeah. Did you see the skiing Santa Claus? Just to get sidetracked again.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
just making sure.
It's in there on our shelf Christmas sets.
Sweet. I mean, ghosts and glow in the dark ghosts, glow in the dark wands kind of phasing out. I mean, again, they show up in those weird, maybe Lego Studios, Lego crossover Time Twister sets, and then they kind of disappear. And Lego doesn't do too much with them in Knight's Kingdom, I don't think. Maybe, but I don't think.
No.
I haven't studied Knight's Kingdom much because I'm not really interested to. But my wife says we need one of those poly bags or 5. Oh
yeah, I got 2 of them.
Yeah, I think they're Fred Meyer.
2 of them, and then I noticed that it had the trans yellow wand in it, so it comes with 2 wands each set. So I have 4 of those now. 2 free ones.
Okay.
That aren't outfitted. So I've got those separate in my little separate parts bag over here.
You gotta have them.
Yeah.
Let's see. women figures disappeared in the mid-90s castle. Yeah, unfortunately, that's fairly true, except for the witch, which isn't great representation.
Or is it?
So, yeah, let me think about that. Lego had a lot of women characters in their Paradisa line during that time. A lot. Like half the minifigs in every set were women. My son Archer says hi. I gotta say hi. Hi, Archer, buddy. Hang in there, buddy.
Hey, Archer.
Making it happen. There was in 2000, so at the very end, there was a queen that came out in King Leo's castle, and she also shows up in the blacksmith shop that was designed by a fan around the same era. But yeah, you're right. Honestly, Lego women in castle are few and far between in any era.
Yeah, I mean, until you get to the, the medieval village. Came with all new women print.
Yes. Yeah, then you get 2 of them in that kit.
Yeah, and then I want to say that the mill raid, windmill raid.
1, yeah.
There was 1 in that.
Yeah. Going forward in all of the later 2000s castles, there was like a queen or a princess in every castle.
Yeah.
Which was nice. If Lego did a castle set again, I mean, I think they would probably split it fairly evenly, because they did that with the Black Falcons in the blacksmith, and they did it with the Black Falcons in the castle.
Yeah. I was gonna say the Black Falcons, the blacksmith shop was 2.
Yeah. So
it's probably good, because every big dining hall dinner was just a sausage fest before that.
It's true.
It's like one woman and a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, it was kind of the worst. I mean, it was hard because for people who cared about doing like fun, larger builds and doing their own castles and stuff, finding population for those was hard, because like everyone was just a dude, and so you had to make your own female characters, or you had to like find them and buy multiples from different kits. It was just a whole mess. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm shaking my camera here. Not meaning to do that. Bricks Make Me Happy says Paradisa FTW. Let's see. Yeah, but that's a good point. Late 90s, women kind of disappeared out of definitely Castle. There was a decent amount in other Lego themes, though, during that time.
Yeah.
So moving on from the carriage. Oh, by the way, carriage, I bought that on Toys R Us on my 10th birthday or something, 12th, 11th birthday.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy were there. He came over for like a fun like playtime, and then we went and did the Toys R Us, and I spent my birthday money and got that carriage. Man, I must have built and rebuilt that 150 times.
Yeah.
All the alternative builds on the back 100 times. They also were able to fit both the men-at-arms on the back there, which was pretty clever. Behind the chest, you could back to back, you could sit them on there.
Yeah, you could sit the guy up there, no problem.
So what's cool about that set is every minifigure fits on the vehicle.
Yep.
There's no one left behind or walking in the background or anything.
Yeah, you don't have a bunch of strays. I hate it when
that's kind of fun.
Like that. That wears me out.
Yeah. Bricks Make Me Happy for the win. Oh, yeah. I think I knew that's what that meant, and I was just like trying to process it in my brain. You like the Paradisa line. Yeah, I do too. I love it. It's got a ton of really cool stuff in it.
Yeah, if your favorite drink is sex on the beach.
Well, I like the lighthouse a lot. I think it was like the only Lego lighthouse ever for like years.
Oh, I know.
The creator came out with them.
It had its appeal. Like if you were part of that, city drug.
Yeah, it's definitely like rich people on a beach theme. That's the whole thing.
It is.
They're like, let's go hang out.
I lived in that down in Tampa, right off the Gulf, long enough.
Sure. You don't need it in your Lego.
No, nothing to do with that, dude.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. What's the bridge set called?
The Royal Knights drawbridge.
Yeah. Royal Knights drawbridge, which kind of works if you put it next to the castle a little bit, but not as good as it should.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's a great set.
The way that the Royal Knights drawbridge was set up was to be like the castle was kind of on a mountain, and you would have to have this multi-level mountain to have like a lower water where the drawbridge came up and met the other drawbridge across, like, the water.
Well, and you see that in some of the imagery.
Yeah, that is portrayed in I want to say 95 catalog.
Yeah. One of the little booklets has it in there. Yeah.
Again, though, this was next level. Well, this had everything.
Because it had a drawbridge function, but it also had the falling bridge function on it.
It had the falling bridge. It had the jail under the front bridge.
Yeah.
Which was like it was very similar to the Wolfpack Tower.
It had the same shape.
In the same setup and shape. Yeah, on the half base plate that was blue. It would go up in the front, across, and in or whatever. Same concept, but much bigger. Like if you put the two together, side by side, the Royal Knights drawbridge is it's
quite tall.
Bigger. Yeah,
it's fairly tall, and it has those battlements along the top with the pointy little columns and the flags.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of places to like set up people on it. It's a cool set. If you guys want to watch this, I can actually. I'll actually put a little story and put a link in the story you guys can go watch. I did a featurette type little stop motion build of that on my YouTube, and you can go watch it get built by like the little stop motion, and then it just shows off all the little features in like kind of a fun showcase video. You guys can go check that out if you're interested in watching that. I'll link it later.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's how much I liked it myself. I did a video on it.
Nice.
It has that fun little raft. It's got vibes from Forestman's River Fortress in it.
Yeah.
It's got the raft, and then it has basically the water cell. You throw them in there to like just sit in cold water till they like decay.
Yeah, I love that.
What's great about it is you can almost guarantee it's going to be Dark Forestman in there. And you can almost guarantee that the Royal Knights were descendants of the Crusaders. And so it's kind of like you threw us in your water fort as Crusaders. Now it's your turn to go in our water fort prison.
Right.
Kind of a little revenge prison going on there.
Yeah, I mean, again, with that set, it came with a Dragon Master Knight.
Yeah.
Horseback with the head on thing.
Did he have in that set, since I don't have an image with me, did he have a chrome sword in that set?
Yes.
So might be.
He had the sword.
Is that the only Dragon Master that come with a chrome sword ever?
I think so. Now, here's the kicker. With that. The Dragon Masters had the green dragon on the shields.
Yeah.
This one has the blue dragon, which was technically used by the Black Knights.
See, I'm wondering if that guy's a Dragon Master at all. He might.
Well, I don't know. He's got the Dragon Master helmet and Dragon Master headpiece for the horse, but he's rocking the Black Knight shield. And then if we get kind of in depth on that shield keep popping up, it popped up in the Dark Forestman's Fortress too, on what we thought was a Dragon Master Knight as well. Yeah,
we thought it was a Dragon Master's wagon.
And why? Because it had Magisto's scroll in it.
Yeah,
but the lore with the blue dragon on the shield.
The lore surrounding that, if I'm being honest, Lego being lazy or forgetting what they were doing. But for me, on the back end, that's a whole storyline going on right there.
We're going down a rabbit hole right now.
But no, we don't need to climb down the Dark Fortress Dragon Master Wagon Black Knight situation. I like to think about maybe the knight or whoever he is in the drawbridge set as maybe he could have been an assassin or a mercenary who killed a Dragon Master and then killed a Royal Knight and took his sword, because he's got equipment from two different factions. Now, that being said,
Three.
Three?
Three different factions. The Sword, the Dragon Masters, and the Black Knights.
That's right. He's probably a Dark Forester.
He could be all kinds of things.
He's a Dark Forester who jumped a Dragon Master, took his horse, killed a Black Knight, took his shield, killed somebody with one of those chrome swords, a Royal Knight with a chrome sword, and he's just rolling through the land. He's like the most wanted. He's Lego Castle's most wanted. We should make a little wanted poster with that guy on it.
It's already done.
That's awesome, dude. I need that. I need that so much. Yeah, so that's a sick set. Fantastic. Got a lot of features and that really mysterious guy in there. I think his face print is a Dragon Master's face print, but, you know, I mean, they were limited with face prints back then, so who knows who he really was. I like it. The Mysterious Knight. And then, what are we moving on to? I mean, they had a couple. We already kind of talked about the catapult set a little bit.
Yeah.
Fun use of one of the space rubber hoses along the top of that to make that nice little arch that it bounces against.
Yep.
That's a fun building technique.
The only other little one is the boat with armor, crossbow boat, and thunder arrow boat. Those were the three names of the same set.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, aren't those the same? Yeah, it was re-released 3 times for some reason.
Yeah.
With different names.
6 was the first 2, and then 98 was the re-release.
Got it. Yeah.
Polyback
set. It's not great. I think Black Knights had cooler boats by far.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to get another guy. Doesn't it come with 2 shields or a shield and 2 crossbows or something like that?
Yeah, here's the thing, though. I've never really liked the boats in Castle.
There aren't a ton of them. The one I do love is the Sea Serpent.
The Sea Serpent, yes, that was a good ship.
It looks right.
But just to have it, you had to have water in your boat.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Lego portrays them being in watery areas, but doesn't do much for you with the sets. They didn't do ports or towns on the water. They didn't do docks or anything.
And you know, to be honest with you, I would rather just leave all that into the pirate stuff rather than bring that into Castle. Just give me high battlements and a dungeon. You know,
yeah,
dragons. I don't want if I wanted to go to the ocean or the sea, I'd go buy pirate stuff.
That's fair. I think most battles in medieval Europe were on land, though there were some pretty major naval battles back then too.
Yeah.
But I think the most well-known ones were land battles.
And then you could get the Royal King. The Royal King was a set by itself as well. No barding, but you got the sword, the crown, and the big oval shield. Oh,
this set right here.
Yeah.
The Royal King. Yeah. No feather, or was it supposed to have a feather?
I don't think there was a feather featured.
Okay. Is he calling me Grease Lightning? That's Lego Creator. Is that because of the leather jacket, or is that something that you guys are talking about? Is that your joke?
Definitely, that's definitely your leather jacket, dude.
Okay. I was gonna do the hairstyle from Grease, and I just didn't have time, and I didn't mean to even wear the jacket, but yeah, here I am. Thank you. I appreciate that reference.
So moving on to the Royal Knights Castle, do you have anything else to add that we haven't talked about yet on that?
So previously, or just the castle itself going into
the castle itself?
Dude, I mean, it's Gothic architecture. It's like, it's moving into the Renaissance. It's got the columns. It's got gargoyles, for crying out loud. Like, this thing is next level. It's a multi-level castle. It's got too many different ramps. It's got not too many, just the right amount of many ramps. It's got the hatches to the staircase outside. It's got, I mean, the skeleton that pops up out of the floor on a hatch. Yeah. It's crazy.
It has a skeleton surprise in the castle.
And it's loaded with minifigs. It's a good, decent garrison of minifigs.
Yeah, let's talk about these minifigs. We got this introduction of this guy, this knight right here.
Dude, with the red helmet.
Using the red on the helmet.
So cool.
Yeah, it was great. The new horse barding was good.
Which is mad exclusive.
Yeah, because there's only one of them in the whole
Well,
pack.
and even look at the horse barding. It just looks like later medieval with that fur type pattern along the bottom, like they see on the royalty, like the capes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
then,
it's like late Crusades.
And then you've got the all new prints. I like the fact that they printed them on red and white.
Yeah, that's really cool. And of course, they use the scale armor for the old school. Like every faction has some scale armor guys for the men at arms, except for maybe.
That's called scale mail.
Scale mail, yeah. What? I don't think did Dragon Masters not. I think there's a couple that didn't, but I think did even the Black Falcons have some?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah, the Black Falcons in the Sea Serpent had the blue with the gray pants.
Yeah, what are those guys doing in there? That was a whole thing we talked about, remember?
Being friends with the Black Knights.
Yeah, they were co-funding some exploratory adventures. That was a fun little piece of lore we covered a while ago. Lego Creator, which is a fantastic tag, by the way. The Royal Knights might be my favorite. Yeah, dude, they're really, really great, and we're having a lot of fun. Oh, by the way, point out, Brick Monarch, your shirt looks great, by the way.
Yep.
I've got
always rocking the castle.
Represent Black Knight or Royal Knights. Get on topic here. Yeah, the castle. No, dude. I mean, I can't say enough good things about the castle. It's my second favorite castle Lego's ever made, hands down. I mean, it was vying for first, but I mean, I can't throw away the Dungeon Master's castle. It's got to stay first for me.
Which do you prefer, those or the Lion/Dragon Knights from Kingdoms? I mean, I like the Kingdom sets, but when the Royal Knights came out and the Dragon Masters, they were both next level.
Kingdoms, here's the thing, and we can talk about the crossover between all four of these themes over the last few years of the 90s, but the bad guys in Kingdoms weren't that cool, in my opinion. I felt like they were kind of weak with their green dragon and the weird off-yellow color of the shields. And some of it was cool, but so that for me in Kingdoms kind of threw me a little bit. It was weird. Their architecture was strange. I mean, I still got them because they were castle stuff, but the Royal Knights, the Lion Knights in Kingdoms are very cool. They got a great traditional castle. I like the Royal Knights much better. Their castle, if we're going to just talk about castles alone, Royal Knights castle kicks the crap out of the Lion Knights castle from from Kingdoms. It really does, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, you can't get not to hate on the Kingdoms Knights, because I think those guys were pretty sick. And they
as far as the castles that were released after the Royal Knights was probably the last great castle.
I'm trying to think. I think you're right. There's been so many random things that have happened since then. But yeah, everything before Royal Knights is good. Some of it's even better. But after Royal Knights, nothing quite comes up to Royal Knights Castle. Some things get close.
Let's see, the guys that used this shield.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Most of the
I
kingdoms.
mean, they had the same basic castle as the guys with the crown.
Yeah. Similar.
And the same basic castle as the guys with the blue and the gold.
Yeah, we're talking about some.
Those were all the major castles that came out after the Royal Knights castle.
Yeah, and those are all pretty heavy repeats with just a couple colors changed.
That god awful raised base plate King Leo's castle with the knockoff Royal Knights flag with the crossed gold in behind the same lion. That thing was complete garbage. That whole set was garbage.
And it has the curtain in the back of the castle, the big flag instead of a wall.
Yeah, It's like
yeah, a lot of people don't like that. I didn't like it when it came out. I look at it now and see some cool parts on it, and the base plate's cool, but like the castle itself isn't anything to look at. And they basically copied it again in a weird knockoff thing called King's Castle. The coolest thing about King's Castle, and I've posted this before, there was an actual torture chamber in the basement with a skeleton strung up on a rack, and it's in the official Lego instructions. So that was cool. Yeah, and it comes with a. I'll share you a picture of that. Maybe I'll even share it on my feed after we post this, because that castle, it came out in this weird time of Knights Kingdom stuff, but it looks a lot more like the Royal Knights Castle than it does the Knights Kingdom's castles. I'll share that with you. It's a weird it's a limited edition set, and it's weird, and it's got some wild stuff on it. That castle was okay. Again, it was so off. It's like didn't fit anywhere that I wasn't sure what to do with it. But no, I don't think there's any good castles or any castles that compare to the Royal Knights Castle after Royal Knights was released.
Yeah.
Well, and there's not. Yeah, I mean, Castle in the Forest might be close. Castle in the Forest is nice, but it's not even technically official Lego set, right?
I mean, you can't compare the Castle in the Forest to any faction in the castle, classic castle stuff.
Right, because technically it doesn't really come with any classic castle.
No,
people.
I mean that build is comparable to like the blacksmith shop.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's like a whole nother. That's like a collector series castle set.
Right. Yeah. And then the other one they did last year was the Lowenstein Castle, which I actually do have. And
yeah, I like that, but I didn't like the fact that the castle was scaled down for like a little mini person.
Yeah.
And then they threw a couple minifigs in, and I'm like, cool, you got a gray house.
Yeah. I like the fact they went design-wise, historical, or at least more so. But you're right, the scaling issues were bugging me when I was putting it together. And the other thing about it, the minifigs were just, I mean, they didn't have much to work with. They were supposed to only be able to use parts they had available for the A-Fold designer program and all that. I get the logistics behind why it didn't come with factions and knights and all that. It wasn't a castle theme. It was just a castle, kind of like the creator castle we have now. I will say, though, I give the guy that designed it, and I can't remember his name, otherwise I'd give him a shout-out, but I will give him kudos for a statement he said. He basically just tried to stuff as many castle parts into the build as possible for people who bought it and wanted to build their own stuff. And I give him credit for that, because it comes with a dang lot. It's come with a lot of parts, and it's a lot of arches and gray bricks and textured pieces. So
yeah,
that's nice. So there you go. There's a tangent on who has the better castles. And I think Royal Knights is definitely, in my book, second only to the Black Knights Dungeon Master's Castle.
Yeah, the Black Knights Dungeon Master's Castle and the Royal Knights Castle were two of my favorites.
Yeah, I think they deserve to be, because I think they hold their own on every level that you can think of. Design, parts, minifigs, base plates, the whole thing. What else we got here? Yeah, so those are the main sets. We really went in depth on the sets, which was actually a lot of fun. We haven't done that as much recently, and that was
well. I mean,
fun.
We haven't really had much to work with.
I mean, that's true. Johnny Thunder has a lot of good stuff, but like
there is. But the castle stuff is fresh in my mind because I build them regularly.
It's always there for me, yeah. And it's like time spent looking at castle, building castle, messing with castle, researching all of it, compared to any other theme that I've messed around with. It's just so much higher that it's just burned into my brain. So it's easier to talk about.
I think honestly, in my honest opinion, I think that the golden years for the castle theme were, let's see, the Dragon Master. Let's see. I mean, it starts with the Black Knights with the Dungeon Master's Castle. Because Black Monarch was good, right? But that was like classic castle. That was like Black Knights, Crusaders, and Falcons, right?
Yeah. And let's be real, Black Knights and Crusaders castles were fairly similar. They're just with boxes.
Yeah.
They have
they were very simple.
They're great. I love them.
But the Dungeon Master's Castle, right? from the Black Knights, and then we've got the Wolf Pack running in there. Then 93, the Dragon Masters release.
Yeah.
Right? So the Dragon Masters are still carrying over. They're fighting the Wolf Pack and the Black Knights into 94. And then in 95, the Dragon Masters are fighting the Royal Knights. And then in 96, the Royal Knights are fighting the Dark Forcemen. I mean, like, those are like the pinnacle years of the classic castle, I feel like.
Well, and then,
Like 92, 93, 94, 95, and 96.
Yeah.
Because they all strung together very well, and the factions changed so much.
Yeah, there's so much variety. I mean, just a scoop of all the parts and minifigs out of those years is incredible.
Yeah.
Base plates, prints, dragons.
New parts.
Parts.
Tons of new parts.
Cloth capes, flags. I mean, the whole thing, I would agree. And that's closer to me, too, because I wasn't around as much with the old school stuff. But I do remember seeing shots of the Dungeon Master's Castle and the Wolf Pack and those things bleeding into the time frames for Royal Knights and Dragon Masters and stuff like that. So that was more my my buddy George Frick says Brickstop Castles is the golden age of castles. I've done my best to add to what LEGO's already created and expand all of their universes. So some of the credit does still go to LEGO for creating what I've worked off of. But yeah, no, I agree, man. I think it's a golden age. I know a lot of people don't think so. I think they think the older stuff is kind of the golden age, but
I know, but I mean, the only thing that the main thing that separates the two periods is the fact that all the King's Castle, the Knight's Castle, that was the Falcon's Fortress, Black Monarch's Castle, the Knight's Stronghold, which was a Black set. All of those had very basic parts.
Yeah, I think once you get King's Mountain Fortress, you start seeing some, maybe not the greatest designed castle of all time, but definitely some very cool looking features, and it's definitely like a unique.
That had a new feeling.
Yeah,
right?
it breaks.
None of the stuff before the Dungeon Master's Castle even came close to it.
Sure. Yeah.
And then beyond that, I mean, it just got better and better and better for several years.
Yeah. And then it declined with Fright Night.
Straight into the toilet.
Fright Night. See, I hold out through Fright Nights and then say Knight's Kingdom was where it really failed. And that's only because LEGO has that crossover that you talked about between the three factions into the fourth, which is Fright Nights. You see the Trade of Transport, where you have either a Royal Knight being taken prisoner by them or betraying the Royal Knights and becoming a Fright Knight. I don't know because it doesn't show it. It just shows a Royal Knight in their little transport set. Actually, I got it right here with our favorite. We're going to show this every live stream.
Dude,
so there
I
he
hate
is.
that
Actually,
thing.
Here's the thing. That's the Royal Knight. He's in full Fright Night gear in this shot. So I don't know if it shows him here, but he's the prisoner, and he has a Royal Knight's torso. And it's called Trader's Transport. Anyway, they also have prisoners up in their tower of some Royal Knights and Dark Forcemen. So you get all of that going on in the Fright Nights as well. So I do appreciate that about Fright Nights. And I know we're not doing the Fright Nights talk. There's plenty to crap on about their designs and all of that other stuff. And it definitely shows later as they go into the era of the Jellybean Knights how their design it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And a lady, says Bricks make me happy. There is a lady in Fright Night. There's yeah. Oh, I was going to say, King Leo's Castle, I know you were trashing it earlier, and that's fair, but it is the only set that comes with a brown parrot, and it is also the only set that comes, or not the only set, but it introduced that really fantastic castle female dress and all of that, which was his wife. I can't remember her name. But it's a really cool print, full medieval dress for the female castle figure.
It's the all white one, right?
No, it's red.
Is it red?
Yeah, I don't know if I have it here. I thought I did, but I might have tossed it in a bin somewhere. Yeah, I don't think I have it here. I don't remember her name, but yeah, she's got the curled hair and she's got like a jewel and a band, and then she wears one of those pointy hats, and then it's like a blue dress with like a red cover, like a red robe around the sleeves and everything. It's really a great print, and it looks great in any castle setup and classic castle because it's still got that old school vibe before they went totally nuts. So those two things were good on King Leo's castle, in my opinion. You could also get that minifig on the blacksmith shop, though. I don't know if I have that. Oh, this one. Yeah, here. We can see what she looks like right here. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
So that's a cool. It's a cool minifig to get a hold of if you can. Great addition to any Lego castle set or setup. Yeah. Let's see. Royal Knights. Okay, yeah, they were kind of remade, like we talked about earlier, as the King Leo faction, but just not quite as well designed, or color scheme wise, not great either.
No, they were fighting the bulls.
Yeah, which here's the thing: bulls could have been kind of cool if they had been like released at another time.
Maybe.
I don't know,
but
I like the faction. Like you were talking about how you didn't like the scorpions on the shields, or like the weak animals and all that.
No.
The bull is a strong animal, and it's a historical.
But it's the wrong animal.
What do you mean it's a wrong animal?
Okay, like I know that I mean I don't mean to like smash on anybody, but I know that in history, Spain, took part in a lot of stuff that France did, and back and forth with the UK and Great Britain and all that.
Sure.
But when you think of heraldry, right? European like history,
Yeah.
You don't think of the bull as an animal that you would feature. I feel like the bulls are drunks that got lost on the road leaving Spain somewhere. They don't belong in my castle world.
So you are correct in the sense that they are actually, I think, did you mention France?
Yeah.
I believe that it is a French heraldry, like you said.
No, I was saying that was Spaniard,
Oh, yeah, maybe, but I know that it's probably from some of the stuff that I've looked into a little bit. I think it's French as well. I mean, I don't know. Ivanhoe was a great novel about castle times, written by Sir Walter Scott, and he has one of the main villains. Fonteboeuf was his name, which is basically just French for some sort of beef. I don't know, I believe, but his was a big bull. He had a bull on his torso armor and a big shield with a bull on it. So that's what I kind of think of when I think of the Bull Knights and all of that. So that's a fun little reference to maybe some literature that was written about that type of heraldry. But yeah, I mean, cows on your shields, I guess you're right. As far as like, I'd prefer, like we talked about before, a wolf or a boar or a bear. Or
yeah,
a
dragon, lion. These are all
monkey.
These are, I mean, the Scottish, the Royal Scots used the lion just as well as
England.
Like King Richard of England.
Yeah.
The lion was used in multiple countries, and then, like if you think about the French and the Germans used a lot of the falcon and bird.
Yeah. And was it Danes that used dragons?
I think so. Yeah.
Can't remember.
Yeah.
There's a faction of people.
They got kind of in there and up into the Nordic, and then it was like dragon to sea serpent to like wolf. All those got pretty wild.
What do we got? We got Larry Cummings 37 says oxes pulling carts. Peasant knights. How about that? We'll call them the peasant knights. They're not royalty. Get them out of here.
How about they were built just like the Fright Knights, and they're a disgrace to the castle line?
Yeah, I mean, built wise, they're not that solid. I'll give them that.
They're terrible. They are terrible.
Yeah. I could see them. The faction itself having been done much better, and it wasn't.
Every time I see one of those sets, I like want to get the red thing out and like flap it in the wind.
That would be a funny like lore piece where it's like every time they went to battle, the the Royal Knights or whoever they're fighting figured out that if they just wave red flags, the whole army scatters and goes nuts, and they can't even fight. Maybe the bull was for legions or Spanish due to the Bull Run. Yeah, like that you were saying, you thought it reminded you of more Spain or Spaniard stuff.
There's no other country in the world that has a lot to do with the bull, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I read a historical novel, and it was a French guy that had a bull on his shield, so I don't know.
Maybe he was lost. He was lost, you know?
I'm not going to speak to the heraldry of specific countries because I have not studied that.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say that, you know, I mean, Spain is right there on the border of France. France, one side is Spain, the other side is Germany.
Sure.
You know?
There you go.
And
yeah.
Like if we're talking about fantasy and heraldry, right? We don't go down in Spain ever. We're in England, we're in Scotland, we're in Norway, we're in France, Germany, the Netherlands, you know, and then you get into the Netherlands and then like and some of those other crazy places, and that's where we get like mermaids and dwarves, and, you know, gnomes. Those goblins. Are historical. Those
where
are
the goblins things. Come from?
Yeah, and all that.
Is that Nordic?
Nobody gives two shits about bulls. Okay, over there.
The Peasant Knight faction. I'm still calling it. That's what they are. We're going with that. What do we got? Brick set official. We need a Badger faction. Badgers could be pretty feisty beasts.
You know what's crazy about that is I'm actually designing. I'm doing branding for a company in Lampasas, Texas, right now. That's going to be called Badger Plumbing and Air.
Nice.
And I'm like looking up some Badger images, and I'm like, dude, I agree with that. A Badger on like a woodsman type guy.
Yeah. They could
that could be gnarly.
Dude, you could take so I threw the Sable Guard together for the Blue Forestman hat guys, and they have like a darker stag with red eyes, and I kind of went dark with them a little bit. But man, you could use that blue hat with a Badger shield and make a whole nother faction of woods guys.
Or it could be like a mix of like the wolf pack and the original Forestman with a Badger.
Yeah, I would love that. That sounds great to me.
That'd be rad.
I'm down. Brickstars official says, too bad the Bulls never got hideout or a bigger set. Yeah, I mean, Brick Monarch doesn't think so. It's too bad they got any sets at all.
Another set I could crap on all over.
I'll probably put one together. It's on the list of things I need to fix. So here's the thing. To be fair, you have said that some of the sets that I built in factions you don't care that much for looked pretty cool. So
no, I mean, I'll be honest with you. There are sets that you have created that are better than what Lego put out.
Sure. Yeah. Well,
I mean, across the board, there are some sets that you've created for like even the Lion Crusaders. You know, like
okay.
Really cool sets. By the way, I need you to send me some instructions. I like another one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got you, bro. I'll you just send me an email and I'll send over what you need. But I appreciate that. Yeah, I've just tried to expand and work on what they gave and do what I can to make it cooler. And that is including some of the factions that most people hate. I'm like, well, let's look at what's good here and make it better. So that's kind of what I'm about. But I think that kind of wraps up the Royal Knights. There's probably some stuff we're missing, but I had a lot of fun, man. That was a good time. Royal Knights are sick.
There's a lot to talk about on that, man.
Yeah.
So what do you have going on right now? What are you doing right now this week?
Yeah. So last week actually was my big thing. I put together a PDF instructions for the Santa's Living Room set that was canceled by Lego.
That's right.
Yeah. So that was kind of my project I worked on last week.
You're such a sweetheart.
Yeah, I did.
I loved you for that.
I was sucking up to the community and making Lego look bad. I'm like, look what I did, guys. Here's your PDF. But, I mean, here's the thing. a lot of people downloaded it, and I really appreciate all the support that I got for that one. And yeah, it was a very large amount of people, more than I thought, went and downloaded it. And we'll see if somebody built it or not. I think it was fun to do. You know, I try to fill the gap sometimes if Lego drops the ball on something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
so that was fun. That's kind of what I was working on. And then coming into next week, I've got a couple projects, but mostly dabbling on the designer and just kind of seeing what else I can cook up. Yeah. What about you?
Man, I got so many things on the list. First off, obviously I'm doing round the clock, fill in any free time that I have doing new products for Brick Monarch Shop.
Nice.
A lot of new stuff, adding new street stuff, new city stuff, new castle stuff.
Cool.
And then I have actually decided to start building a large castle.
Nice.
And I'm actually going to run it on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And do like weekly or bi-weekly updates on the build so that the whole process can be seen.
I like it.
I'm not going to talk for like 2 hours on each one. I'm going to talk for like 5 or 10 minutes and keep it short and sweet.
Yeah.
But I have purchased an additional 6 large gray base plates.
Okay, so you're talking like full on castle building going on.
Huge, like
nice.
Multi-level. Probably I'm going to try to reach 4 foot tall. The tallest tower will be at least 4 foot off of the table.
Nice. That's awesome, man. I miss that type of like dedication to something like that with castle stuff, because I haven't gotten knuckle deep in any castle stuff in a while like that. So,
yeah, I've been messing around with color schemes and just building small buildings and random things.
Yeah.
None of which I care to show right at the moment, but just running tests on windows and tower styles and this kind of thing. But I've got them all laid out on this table. So like most of you can't see this, but I have a table over here that is 16 foot long by 4 foot deep. So that's where I'm building, and it's like literally like I can reach over and touch that table.
So will we get to see a little bit more of that in those videos?
Oh yeah. Because
cool.
I'm just gonna set up the GoPro, and be in. It may just be some of the videos may just be my voice showing the build and me pointing things out, or it may be me behind the castle talking more to the camera. It'll be kind of a mix of both. But basically, I just wanted to show the entire building process and how every large build starts with Duplo.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, yeah, I like that idea. I would like to do something like that at some point as well. So you have a YouTube channel. You post these live talks on there right now.
I put all the lives up on there, but I'm trying to create a little bit more traction with the YouTube, hoping that we can eventually switch over and be on YouTube live versus Instagram every time. So I thought that building something and doing bi-weekly updates every 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's gonna be super polished. Like it's gonna be everything, terrain, everything, trees, the whole deal. It's not gonna be just like a big castle.
Got it. Awesome. Well, yeah. So you're basically going Lego City, only you're doing castle, and it's just a big castle.
Yeah, I mean, I've already started doing. I've already started looking at my parts and realizing that I probably got, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000 worth of parts that I'm probably going to need, and that's just buying like 1x1s in bulk.
Are you sure you don't have that in like some buckets somewhere already?
I do. I have a lot, man. But it's so much easier when you've already got all of them organized and by the part.
No, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
We were having that conversation. Yeah.
I was just telling Crystal today, I was like, I need like every part in 4 colors, and I need like 2,000 or 3,000 of every one of them.
Yeah. She says you have plenty here in the comments.
She don't know what she's talking about.
I don't know. You're quite grasping the scope of what's happening here. This is next level stuff here.
No, this whole castle build is going to be next level. It's going to have full interior too, and it's going to be separated. So it's going to be two gray base plates.
Yeah.
And then 2 gray base plates, and then 2 gray, and you'll be able to separate it into 3 parts.
Okay. Are you doing open style walls that are open when you separate, or you're stacking with tile and studs?
I'm gonna stack with tile and stud,
So modular style.
and then I'm gonna separate so that when you separate it, you can see inside whatever is cut in half of. You know what I mean?
Sweet. No, I know exactly what you mean. Awesome. I love it. That's gonna be awesome. She says like you forget what you have there.
The last thing I said to Crystal the other night when we were laying in bed is like, I need to come up with a really good arch. And I'm pretty sure that like that was one of the last things I said to her. And like the only thing I could think about is like, how can I make this door so massive and great for this castle?
Brick built. Yeah, it's got to be brick built all the way.
Yeah, brick built.
Yeah. That's gonna be sick, dude. I love it. Well, that's exciting. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing those videos. So if you guys want to see more content like this, or what you're gonna start doing more, check out. It's just Brick Monarch on YouTube, right? Or
I mean, if you just type in Brick Monarch on YouTube, you'll find the page.
Cool. I might drop a link to that as well as a link to a couple of the other things I was talking about earlier, and then I'll maybe drop a link to my channel as well. We'll just promote all of that stuff after this live. So
100%.
Guys, go check that stuff out for more Lego content from both Brickstop, that's me, and Brick Monarch, that's Andrew there. So I think that about wraps it up. I'm looking forward to what you're doing. And then, you'll see any of the projects that I work on will eventually bleed onto Instagram and the other platforms that I try to put things on. So those are always something coming down the pipeline.
So we have not talked yet about what we're going to talk about next week.
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about that at all, like here or anywhere else.
No.
Oh,
so
boy.
What do you think? We're getting closer to Christmas. What really gets you in the Christmas spirit when you're talking about Lego?
Man, I don't know. Let's do, you know what kind of does? It's the old, very first Lego Arctic theme. Remember that one?
Yes.
You want to dig into that next week?
The one with the blue and gray base.
Yep. And the polar bears.
But it was like so cool.
Yep. Polar bears.
Dude,
the first polar bears ever.
Yes. That was my favorite Arctic theme because it was it's so great.
It was, I think I'm not going to say that they haven't done Arctic stuff that's maybe better on some levels, but it was the first time we got to see any of that stuff.
Yeah,
the first
is always the best.
Yeah. Even if it's not necessarily parts-wise or new parts-wise or anything like that, it holds that nostalgia for one, but just seeing it the first time in Lego, a polar bear in Lego, a person with snowshoes, a minifig on snowshoes in Lego. It's got charm to it that you don't see anymore when you get a remake of something like that.
No, I loved that. I would love to talk about that. That'd be wonderful.
Cool. All right. So next week we'll take a look at the very first Lego Arctic theme. And that'll be a lot of fun to dig into. I remember getting one of those sets for Christmas from my grandmother. So
I have those.
Yeah. I mean, same here. So it'll be fun to talk about our favorite features of the sets that we have in that theme as well. All right. So yeah, I think that'll call it for tonight. Oh, I wanted to show this minifig at the end here. This is the other version of the king there with that cloth cape, which I think only came on the Royal Knights Castle, right?
Yeah.
So he's here to kind of sign us out.
That cape is very expensive.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't even tried to buy it. I wouldn't even look for it. The only reason I have it is because I do have one of the Royal Knights.
Just don't. It was one of those capes that I was like, no thanks. I think it came. I think there was some chick had a Bricklink store, and she was selling the Royal Knight King with the cape, sword, crown, the whole bit, and it was like she was selling it for $75.
Yeah, that's like those people that are selling the Dark Forest guys for like $40 a pop.
Yeah.
There's ways to find them, but they're hard to get. But yeah, that cape. Well, yeah. So there it is. There's the cape. And that, yeah, came with a bard. You put this king on the horse with the barding and the cape. Maybe put that cloth flag from the wagon on his flag instead of the blue one here. You get one of the coolest minifigures Lego's ever made with that right there.
I agree.
So there you go. Royal Knights, thank you so much. Larry Cummings 37 says lots of trans blue and orange. I'm assuming on the Arctic sets. Yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff to dig into next week.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, man. Well, good night. Have a great night.
You as well. We will talk again later.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks so much, everyone who joined.
Yes, thank you.
We really do appreciate it, and we had a good turnout with some great questions and some really thoughtful things said. So we appreciate that a lot.
Yep.
All right,
Always
man.
good talking with you, Jason. Man, we'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Take it easy, guys.
See ya.